Welcome to this GiftWorks video. My name is Steve Faithful, and in this video, I want to show you some of the security features and options that are available to you inside of GiftWorks. Different organizations have different requirements around security, and GiftWorks, whether you need little security or you need more advanced security, GiftWorks should be able to accommodate you. Let's first start out by showing you some of the basic security that we have. The two ways I'm going to show you is by first showing you GiftWorks Standard. GiftWorks Standard is more designed for those organizations that have minimal security requirements. GiftWorks Premium, which I'll show you just a little bit later, is designed more for those organizations that have more advanced security requirements, things like usernames and passwords, and then role-based security, that is protecting certain areas of GiftWorks or limiting certain areas of GiftWorks to certain users. Well, we're going to start with GiftWorks Standard. Now, as I show you some of the features inside of GiftWorks, these are all the security features that are built into GiftWorks and don't take into account a number of the network or computer security options that you could employ or could use to help protect GiftWorks. So keep that in mind. I'm only showing you the security features that are available to you within GiftWorks. Things like network usernames and passwords and different security permissions and security privileges outside of GiftWorks, that is on your network or as part of your domain or your computer itself. You can use other things to help secure GiftWorks. I'm going to restrict my comments in this video to the security features that are available to you in both GiftWorks Standard and GiftWorks Premium. So in starting with GiftWorks Standard, I'm going to go ahead and sign into my GiftWorks database. You'll notice that right now I'm only specifying a username. There is no password. Like I said, GiftWorks Standard is for those organizations that have minimal security requirements. You'll notice that GiftWorks does have the ability to identify or set up multiple users. That's primarily for an auditing purpose, meaning you can track what users are doing what inside of GiftWorks. But there is no password capabilities using GiftWorks Standard. I'm going to sign into GiftWorks, and we're going to head over to the settings area. In the settings area is where I can begin to set up, at least in GiftWorks Standard, the minimal security options that I have available to me. If I click on security, you'll notice that my primary option here is to set or change the administrative password. The administrative password is simply a password that can be set inside of GiftWorks that will protect the settings area of GiftWorks. Since the setting area contains most of the configuration or customization options within GiftWorks and also some tools that are available within GiftWorks, the administrative password can put a password on here so that users or unauthorized users would not be able to make change to some of the core configuration choices within GiftWorks. Well, let's go ahead and set up our administrative password. I'm going to click the link to set or change the administrative password, and it's going to ask me to put in my new password, which I'm going to put in. I'm going to confirm it, and then I'm going to put a hint, and I'm just going to put the word test, which is the password I just set. Now, it certainly would not encourage you to use your hint. You do not make your hint the actual password. Make it something that you can use to remember it if you forget it. Once I've set that up, I can click on Save. Now I have an additional option, not just to set or change the administrative password, but now I can also remove it. Well, let me show you how it affects GiftWorks. If I go to my donors area and I go over to donations and go through GiftWorks and then I head back to the settings area, you notice I can click on the settings area, but now if I go to customize GiftWorks, it's going to ask me for a password, and I'll put in my password. If I forget it, I can show my hint. Once I put that in and click OK, now I'm able to get to that area within GiftWorks. So if I go back to somewhere else within GiftWorks, head back and want to adjust the security or one of the other settings, maybe use a tool, GiftWorks is going to ask me to put the administrative password in. I'm going to go back to security, put the password in, and now I'm going to go ahead and just remove that administrative password. Tells me the protection's been disabled for GiftWorks. Now I'm going to go back to my donors area and I'll head back to the settings area, and you'll notice now it's not asking me to put in any password to go and do the different things within GiftWorks. So that's basic GiftWorks Standard security. It provides the ability to put an administrative password in place. Now, this other option in the security area is just to manage the user accounts, and the only thing you really can do inside of GiftWorks Standard is change the name. You'll notice it's not asking me to or giving me the opportunity to put a password or anything on these. That's what's going to be reserved for GiftWorks Premium, and which we'll look at in just a moment. So I could come in here and change the name if I wanted to of the user, but other than that, my options are limited. So that's GiftWorks Standard security, an administrative password, and the ability to change your usernames. Well, I'm going to sign out of GiftWorks. I'm going to go to the sign-in page. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pause the video for a moment, and I'm going to change GiftWorks to be GiftWorks Premium. Well, I've changed GiftWorks now to be GiftWorks Premium, and now this is going to allow me to show you some of the premium features that come with GiftWorks. GiftWorks Premium. So these are the security features that if you choose to get GiftWorks Premium, and this, like I said, is for organizations that require more advanced security. I'm going to show you how you can do that. Now, currently, with the way GiftWorks is set up, I don't have, it's not, once again, it's not asking me for a password, but I can put a username in. But I'm going to sign in, and we're going to go look at the different options that are available to you for GiftWorks Premium Security. So I'm going to go and click on Sign In, and it's giving me a quick warning telling me it's going to upgrade my database. That's just because I changed it from GiftWorks Standard to GiftWorks Premium. Now I'm going to head over to the settings area, just like we did before when we were using GiftWorks Standard. But now with GiftWorks Premium, when I click on Security, I'm going to see another option here, which is to change the security level. Now currently, I'm using what's called Basic Security. Basic Security simply mimics or is just like the security that's available in GiftWorks Standard, meaning I can just simply set or change the administrative password. In that, with that security level, if I go into Change User Accounts, it's the exact same as it was with GiftWorks Standard. So I can set this security, I can set the password, and if I set the password, now if I go somewhere else in GiftWorks, if I come back to the settings area and go to customize, it's going to act just like it did in GiftWorks Standard. And that's that's called Basic Security inside of GiftWorks Premium. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to customize, I'm going to go back to settings, and under security, I'm going to remove this password. And we're going to go now and we're going to change the security level because GiftWorks Premium now also provides 2 additional levels of security. The next level of security is called Standard Security. Now don't mix that up with GiftWorks Standard. This is just the next level of security that's available in GiftWorks Premium. So now I'm going to change it to what's called Standard Security. Now it does provide a little description here and a few of the options over here on the right-hand side. So it does say that it's going to require passwords to be able to sign on to GiftWorks, and users can be designated as administrators. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on Next, and we're going to change the security level. It's requiring me to set up a password now because with the next level of security, we're beginning to incorporate more password protection inside of GiftWorks. So I'm going to click on Change. Now there's a couple other things I can do. I'm going to go back to the security area, and now I can come under Manage User Accounts. And the options now will be a little bit more than they were with GiftWorks Standard or GiftWorks Premium using the basic security. Now, a couple things I can do. First, I can reset my password. So if I forget it or I need to change it, I can go ahead and reset it. Now, the options here are more limited because this is me. I'm going to go over another user. So this is how I can begin to set up another user. If I wanted to set up a new user account down here, I can do that. So I'm going to click on Add a New User, and I'm just going to type in New User. And I'm just going to put their password in and click on Save. Now I have New User. One of the things I'll need to do in terms of kind of setting it up is also I'm going to choose, right here, I'm going to choose the type, Standard User versus Administrator. Now, one of the biggest difference there, meaning a Standard User versus Administrator, goes back a little bit to what I was showing you inside of the settings area. With the administrative password. So if I choose to leave this as a standard user, you'll notice right below it says standard users cannot change settings, but do have full control over the other areas of GiftWorks. So a standard user is going to be able to do a lot of things within GiftWorks, but if they go to the settings area, it's going to prevent them from being able to do that. So Standard Security, which is that middle level of security, it's that second level of security, allows you to set up passwords for your users and then also designate whether they're a standard user or an administrative user. I'm going to sign out of GiftWorks right now, and we're going to show you how this can be used. So I'm going to sign out. I think I set the password, but let me just verify it. So I'm going to go ahead and sign out of GiftWorks. I'm going to just choose New User. Now I see New User. I'm going to put the password in there. I'm going to sign into GiftWorks, and now I'm going through. Now I have access to all the areas of GiftWorks, but if I go to settings, you'll notice that my options here are very limited. The only thing it allows me to do is to change my own user settings. And really, I can just change my username and change my password. So there's very few things that I can do within GiftWorks if I'm a standard user or that standard, just a regular user. Now, if I sign out of GiftWorks, I can't, and you notice I had no options to change security, but I'm going to change back to my sample user, which is kind of like my administrator. And I'm going to go over to the settings area, go back to security. I'm going to manage the user accounts, and I'm going to change new user now from a standard user to an administrator. Click on save. Now this new user is also an administrator, just like me. So I'm going to sign out, and I'll sign back in as the new user. And I'm just going to click on sign in. Now go to the settings area. You'll notice now I have all the options available to me. So as a administrative user under manage user accounts, as an administrator, I'm able to go into the settings area and now make changes, including security changes to other users as well. I'm going to sign back out. I'm going to sign back in as the sample user. And I'll show you one more thing. I did already have a user in there under manage user accounts. We had this another user. You'll notice that right now when I first changed over from basic security to standard security, this account needs to be activated because it really wasn't activated yet. So if you do change security levels, you'll need to activate the account, which means you'll first need to set the password. So I'm just going to go in and set the password. Click on save, and now I have the ability to activate that account. And activating an account really is just a way of, in terms of whether you want to temporarily restrict or maybe turn off users' access temporarily, you can just go in and disable the account or activate it. So that's the middle level of security that we call standard security inside of GiftWorks Premium. So I'm going to go now, we're going to change the security level. We started off with basic, which simply allows you to set an administrative password for the settings area that's just like GiftWorks Standard. Or we have GiftWorks, under GiftWorks Premium, we also have the second level, which is called Standard Security, which allows you to set passwords for your users, or I should say requires passwords for your users. And then you can also designate whether a user is an administrator, which means they have access to the settings area, or just a standard user, which means they wouldn't have access to the settings area. Well, the next level is for those organizations that not only want to have passwords to be able to, their users to have passwords to be able to sign on, but then they can also have or be controlled in terms of what areas of GiftWorks they have access to. So I'm going to set it to what's called advanced security. That's the highest level of security that we offer within GiftWorks Premium. I'm going to click on next. And now it's changed it from GiftWorks Standard Security to GiftWorks Advanced Security. So this is the highest level, that third level of security, and I'm going to go back to the settings, the security area, so that you can see what else we can do. So now we're getting some advanced things like, first we have those manage user accounts, which you remember we have me, I have the new user that we set up. Now you'll notice instead of under role, before it would set administrator, if I click on change, now instead of just setting to be a standard or an administrator, standard user or an administrator, now I have the ability to actually look at and control what areas of GiftWorks they have access to. The way we do that is through, we have a couple predefined setups in terms of what they can have access to. You notice these big areas. I have the donor area, the donations area, smart lists, mailings, and so on and so forth, reports, settings, and events. Each of these check boxes describe or talk about a specific feature or function within that area that the user can do. A green check means they're allowed to do it. A red X means they're not allowed to do it. And then sometimes if it's not applicable or not appropriate, there'll be a gray X, which simply means it's really disabled or it's not an appropriate function. I'll describe that more in a moment. You notice I can select the different roles. We have an administrator role, a manager role, a user, and a guest. And those are the four kind of predefined sets of roles, or these are called the roles, the predefined sets of features or functions that users have access to. So it's kind of real quick. If you have a guest, you might just have a guest where you notice now they have very little access into GiftWorks. They can do only the most basic things within GiftWorks. And I'm going to start here to show you what this user can do. But you notice if I go from guest to user, a few things get added. If I go from user to manager, a few more things get added. And then under administrator, everything gets added. So those are predefined roles. Now, you don't need to choose one of these predefined roles for this user. You can simply choose this one is choose specific operations. And now it allows me to specifically define how I want this user to be set up. I'm going to go back to guest and I'm going to save this just so we can see some of the things that are going on. So right now you'll see this role is set up as guest. Now I'm going to I'm going to sign out of GiftWorks and we're going to sign in as the new user. Now I do have to enter a password in, but you remember we set it up very limited what they can do. So you'll notice under here I have a donors tab and I have a smart list tab. Now I have some other optional add-ins installed here, volunteers, my GiftWorks Live and events. You may or may not have these. What I really want to point out is both the donors, the smart list button, and the settings button up at the top. Now the most basic thing that you can do inside of GiftWorks is view donor information. So that's the most basic thing. You notice I can't add a new donor. I can do very few things with it, but the most basic thing, I mean, if we didn't even have this, there would really be no purpose of coming into GiftWorks at all. So this would be for someone that you just want to have read-only access to your donor information. Now they can do basic things like note taking and maybe setting up a task. So those are very basic things inside of a donor. And you notice I don't have an edit button down at the bottom. Very basic things that you can do. You notice I also don't see a donations tab, so I don't have access to their donation information or things like that. You notice there's no donation button up at the top, and there's no mailing button, so they're not doing a lot of things at all. Like I said, just very basic things. And under smart lists, you notice under smart lists, you're really not going to see any of the donation smart lists. You'll just see information that is read-only information about donors. Even if I wanted to try, you notice I have no create smart list, so I can view donor information from a smart list. And then finally in the settings area, I have very limited things. In this case, just the ability to change my username or my password. So that's just to show you, and that's a real extreme measure. Not many people probably choose the guest option, but some may. But I wanted to show you that as just to kind of highlight what changing those options do. So that highest level of security, we call it advanced security, gives you the ability to set up usernames with passwords and then control what they can do. Let me change a few more things so we can kind of show you what's going on. Let me go back to the settings area, go over to security. Now, just a moment ago under manage user accounts, we were under new user, we changed this user to be guest. Now I'm going to I could change it up to user, manager, administrator, but I'm going to choose specific operations. So let's say I want to let them do everything except for do anything with donations. So I can kind of customize it like that. Click on save. Now I've got a custom role. Now this custom role means I didn't choose one of those predefined ones, but I kind of chose the options or the features that I want them to have access to, and it's a customized role. Now going back to the settings area under security, there is this thing called manage roles, where if you wanted to, you could take what we call our guest role and modify it. So if I wanted to edit it to say, this is what I wanted our guest role to be, or user, manager, administrator. So even those are predefined, you can change them using the manage role. So you can change what a manager can do, and you can define the different things within GiftWorks that you say what a manager can do. This can kind of help just make it a little bit easier to manage some of the users, especially if you have certain definable sets of security options or privileges for different users. So we, under the manage user accounts, under new user, we did customize this so they didn't have access to donations. So if I go ahead and sign out, and I just change it over to new user, click on test. You'll notice, click on sign in. You'll notice I have a number of buttons, but I don't have the donation button. It kind of falls in line with the customized role that I set up for that new user. So one more thing, if I could, let me sign in as the administrator. Go back. One of the things that we can do under security, I talked about certainly managing the user accounts, managing those roles, changing the security level, which is what we did to go from the first level to the second level to the third level. But one of the last things that we have is this thing called controlled direct access database access. This is a departure from all these other settings that we're talking about. This is just another feature that's available inside of that third level of security. And this is for, now, we are anticipating that this feature may undergo some changes. So if you're using a later version or newer version than GiftWorks 2012, this may or may not be included in that. So just keep an eye out for that. But for now, at least in the versions up to GiftWorks 2012, this allows you to place a password on the actual GiftWorks database file. Some people know that you can actually open our GiftWorks database file using other tools, and this controlled direct database access is going to allow you to set a password that's going to be included onto the database, so that if other people try to use a tool to get into your GiftWorks database other than GiftWorks, that this will provide some database protection. So if any of you are concerned about more of the file-based protection or putting a password on the database file itself, And you can do that. A lot of people, instead of using this feature, will control access to the database using their network or shared security, their shared folder security, and some file-based security. So keep that in mind. Want to make sure that you understand the basics of, and just to kind of review a little bit, we first talked about GiftWorks Standard, which allows you to do what's called to set an administrative password to protect the settings area. But there are no usernames in GiftWorks Standard. We then upgraded to GiftWorks Premium, and in GiftWorks Premium, we provide 3 different levels of security. Basic security, which is just like the security that's included in GiftWorks Standard, or inside of GiftWorks Premium, we could go to the second level of security, which we call Standard Security, which allows you to set up passwords, and users can be designated either as a user, a standard user, or an administrative user. An administrative user has access to the settings area where a standard user doesn't. And then the third level of security under GiftWorks Premium is called Advanced Security. This allows you to not only set up usernames with passwords, but then also provide controlled access to different areas of GiftWorks. So being able to restrict them from seeing donations, or being able to work with smart lists or mailings or reports and so on. So that's a very quick overview of the different security features that are available in both GiftWorks Standard and GiftWorks Premium. Certainly your organization will need to evaluate what the security requirements are for your organization, and then choose the best version of GiftWorks that's going to meet the needs of your organization. So thanks for taking time to watch this GiftWorks video about security. Bye-bye.